Hello everybody! Today I'm drawing Fluttershy in my style, as a human. And yes, I am aware that there are already canon human versions of the ponies, but like I said, this drawing is going to be in my style, which is clearly much more realistic. I'm just kidding. The Equestria Girl style was actually one of the main styles to inspire mine, so that explains a lot. When planning out her design, I was drawing inspiration from the pony Fluttershy, so I was more so drawing the pony as a human as opposed to drawing the pre-existing human version of her more human. I did take inspiration from the Equestria Girl's version at different points, but I tried to mostly reference the pony version of her and make decisions based off of that, to make her more uniquely my version of human Fluttershy. And I kind of love the way she turns out, but you guys will have to stay till the end to see for yourself. My main issue with this drawing was her eyes. I don't know why, but I was having such a hard time trying to draw her eye shape in my style. Even though I like the way they look in the finished illustration, her eye shape is still not quite accurate. But I mean, it still looks like her, so I guess it's okay. For her pose, I thought she'd look cute in a kinda shy pose. On brand. With her arm crossed in that I don't know what to do with my hands kind of pose. I should know, I do it a lot. I thought about having her with her hand up holding a butterfly, but that was too similar to a pose that already exists, which is probably where I got the idea from, so I decided against it. The bonus of posing her in the way that I did is that I got to include Angel Bunny. I of course had to include Fluttershy's sassy companion, and I am so here for it. The downside of this pose, however, is the fact that it covers some of the detail on her outfit, but as you'll see later with the coloring, I made it work. Speaking of which, the idea for her outfit was to have her wear a flowy, off-the-shoulder dress. I have seen other people's versions of human Fluttershy, and they often seem to draw her in sweaters of sorts. I do see that as something she'd wear, but I think it's a bit cliché. Not that there's a problem with that, but I wanted to do something different. I like the idea of her wearing something more flowy and delicate. This could be because that's the kind of outfit she tends to wear in Equestria Girls, but I do really like the style for her, and I think it's something she'd wear. I was, however, directly inspired by the ribbons she has on a lot of her outfits. It's giving ballet, and I love it. So I added ribbon detailing around her neck for extra interest, and a ribbon tie belt, I don't know what those are called, with a big bow on the back. Sadly, like I mentioned earlier, this is covered up by her arm and Angel. But don't worry, because I added more detail later in the coloring stage. And you can still see the bow on her back, which I think is really cute. I think drawing her has made me love Fluttershy even more. I loved drawing her hair. It was so fun. Fluttershy has such long hair and so much of it, and I really wanted to emphasize that in my drawing. So I of course made her hair really long and tried to keep with a similar shape to what she has, but my own interpretation of the style. However, I did keep the butterfly pin in her hair that she has in Equestria Girls. As mentioned in a previous video, I'm trying to draw hair more detailed. So I drew lots of extra, more defined strands, rather than each piece of hair just being one big clump of hair. So there are striations and little strands coming off the main piece of hair. I guess those kind of mean the same thing. And ones going in different directions from the rest. This did make drawing and shading her hair take longer, but the results are so worth it. Let me know if you like this style. From something I really liked to something I don't love. I think her head looks off, but I'm not sure entirely why. Is it just me, or is her head too big or something? But I mean, I know I draw my characters with big heads, and they have big heads in My Little Pony anyway, so I don't know, maybe it's fine, maybe no one will notice. Or maybe it's just all of that hair. On to the coloring. For the colors of her outfit, I was originally going to go with more of a teal color palette, because I love the teal on her, and I love teal in general, and it matches her eyes. But I ended up going more green instead. I really liked the way the color complemented the pink of her hair, and I just felt this color scheme looked more interesting given the details of her dress. I thought about making her dress yellow since her skin wasn't, but since I tried to make her skin somewhat yellow, it would be too much. But we'll talk more about what I did with her skin tone in a little bit. To make the dress more interesting and less blank, while also trying to tie in the accent colors, I added little butterflies fluttering out from the middle of her dress. Originally the plan was to have the butterflies coming from the bottom of the skirt, but since you can't even see the bottom, and she's covering the pink belt, it was pretty much just a plain green dress. So I moved the placement of the butterflies, so you could actually see them. Speaking of which, I kept the butterfly imagery for Fluttershy, but I didn't actually directly include her cutie mark, which was not on purpose, as I low-key forgot about adding it. Wow, that was choppy words. I can talk. but I kinda liked it since I'm drawing her as a human. I guess I was more focused on designing a cute outfit. Especially since I added a lot of butterflies to it anyway, I guess I felt I didn't need to. Fluttershy is one of the few ponies to be wearing eyeshadow, so I gave her eyeshadow. I never really paid attention, but her eyeshadow is actually purple, not quite pink. Because of this, I thought about giving her more purple in her design, but I ended up not doing that, because I didn't want to overwhelm the picture with too many colors. Why isn't anyone ever just whelmed? The purple is close enough to the pink that I think it works without adding the purple accents anywhere else. I also gave her pink lip gloss and blush per usual. Like I mentioned previously, I'm drawing her more human than Equestria Girls, and thus I had to give her a human skin tone. I mean, I guess I didn't have to, but I wanted to. I gave her a skin tone that I think she would have, and that I thought would go well with her color scheme. Kinda trying to keep it a similar shade to what she has in Equestria Girls. And trying to keep it a bit on the yellowy side, but not too yellowy. We don't want to make it look like she has jaundice. For the shading, I used a muted teal on a layer set to multiply, and I lowered the opacity. It did tone down some of the colors, but I actually kind of like the muted tones. Though I did also use her skin tone also on a layer set to multiply for extra shading of her skin, so she looked more alive. And after I had finished the drawing, I came back to it later and thought that her hair was too muted, so I added some pink shading as well to brighten it up and make it a little more saturated. I also added a pink highlight to her hair and gave her eye shinies. Sometimes I like putting unique shapes that correspond with the character in their eye shines, especially if the drawing is close up, so I put a little butterfly in the eye shines for Fluttershy. I just realized her name rhymes with butterfly. That's so cute. I already knew the flutter in her name is like a reference to her being a Pegasus and butterflies and that sort of thing, and of course the shy is because of the obvious. She's shy, if you didn't know that at this point. But then her name also rhymes with butterfly. There's so many layers. Sorry, that was a tangent. One of the reasons I like this show is because I can relate to all of the main six. In a way, they're each kind of like a different part of my personality, some more than others. But I think I relate to Fluttershy the most, though I don't know if I'd say she's my favorite. I love Fluttershy, but it's difficult to decide because I honestly love all of them. Let me know who you relate to most, or who your favorite character is, or if they're both the same. I keep hearing people say things like, I used to watch My Little Pony as a kid. Good times. And though I don't watch it very often, I still like it. You don't have to like or watch the same shows now that you did as a kid, but I guess I kind of feel called out. Like, I still enjoy watching kids shows, and people say it like, oh yes, I used to watch this when I was a baby, but now I'm much more distinguished. I don't know what kind of accent that was supposed to be. I guess that's the accent I imagine snooty people having. But hey, at least I don't watch things like Cocomelon, okay? I have standards. But as a connoisseur of kid shows, My Little Pony is a very good one. And I think it's a show that can be appreciated by all ages. If you still appreciate good kid shows and want to see me draw the rest of the main six, like this video so I know that you enjoyed it. And comment letting me know which of the remaining main six you want to see me draw next. I'll also probably be drawing Starlight and Sunset, so be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss that. I kept the background pretty simple with a yellow gradient, a bit of shading, and some light in the upper left corner. Remember how I forgot to add her cutie mark on her outfit? Well, never fear, because I added the silhouette of it in the background, without even thinking about it. So I guess my subconscious had a plan all along. And here she is, my version of a human Fluttershy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, love you, bye!